Welcome to Sex Talk Radio, a podcast that explores sex, kink, and intimacy through candid conversations with sex workers, researchers, and voices shaping the conversations on sexuality. This episode is brought to you by Testy, a sexual health company I founded launching early 2026, which will revolutionize same-day walk-in STI testing. Head to testy.co to get on the waitlist and get a discount on your first panel.
Men don't know what they want either. Like, I remember Stella would do like polls on her OnlyFans, and when she would be like, should I grow it out, like my bush, or shave it or whatever, and everyone would say shave it, like bald,
Right.
but every video with her bush sold more.
Right, like the data, the numbers tell different stories.
The numbers tell different stories. And almost like the voting could be like just societal performing or something.
Right,
or
this
like,
is what we're supposed to want, or this is what's in right now. Sawyer Gilley, welcome to Sex Talk Radio.
Thank you for having me.
We're also joined by Mr. Mickey.
Yeah.
Are you a good boy? He's not quite in the frame. He's in the corner, but he'll get there.
He'll get there.
He'll work his way over. I'm glad to get to chat with you. You are incredible. You have so much going on, and I think multifaceted entrepreneur sees multifaceted entrepreneur.
Exactly. I see you.
Yeah. Will you tell me a little bit about yourself and background, and
yeah,
we'll jump around.
Yeah. Well, I own a personal brand consultancy in LA called Not Your Publicist, where I bring sex workers into Hollywood at like in the simplest way of speaking about it.
Yeah.
I do a lot of like PR work, Shakespeare, I think, or there's a quote out there that said like, whatever you hate, you become. And I started my company off of a extreme rage for publicists. And now everyone thinks I'm a publicist.
Yeah.
And I do connect like press to clients and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's fine, but it's just like funny because I'm like, oh my God, I am not a publicist, but it's okay. I kind of am at the same time.
Like
yeah.
I would say you could categorize yourself as like an anarchist publicist.
Exactly.
Like you're not doing anything the way that traditional.
Yeah. I started it was called Fire Your Publicist because the way traditional publicists work is they are only hired for 3 months at a time when you have a movie to promote or like a project to promote. Most of the time it's not your own project. Like you don't even own it.
Yeah.
It's just like the movie you're in or whatever.
Right. So traditionally somebody would hire a publicist for like a movie they're in, or I would think that the production company or the agent. Yeah.
Sometimes, actually, a lot of times the production company doesn't even do that. It's like their agent works with an in-house publicist and pays for it, but like does it without even telling them. Like Hollywood is very much like the client is like seen as a baby. And like, we'll just handle everything. Don't worry, we'll handle your finances. Like our bank is connected and we'll pay you out a check. And I think that's so like twisted and backwards and like gives the client no autonomy at all. And as much as anyone may feel weird about them, but you have to give credit to the Kardashians because they are very much in control. They own everything. They have producer credits. They have the majority stake in all of their companies. Like, yes, they started with brand deals, but they keep everything in-house. And she has a full-time publicist. She does hire external publicists when things come out.
Wow.
But yeah, Kim and Chris are very much in charge of their own personal brand. And that's like my goal for my clients is like, let's not consolidate all of your press so that people only hear about you once a year, once every 5 years, like Jennifer Lawrence. Like I only like just remembered her recently because she had a movie come out, and it's like
so she was doing press, and
she was doing press for a movie. Yes,
right.
And those people are hard to. If you just want to be an actor, that's totally fine. Except not a lot of people can make it on an actor's salary anymore.
You were telling me that when we started, and that blew my mind.
Yes,
like how things have changed.
Yeah, so back in the 90s, like being Rachel from Friends was a good thing because it didn't matter. You were making $1 million a week. Like
it's fucking crazy.
$1 million a week. Like who fucking cares? You don't even need an Instagram ever. You don't need a personal brand. You don't need a brand ever. Like you're fine. But in today's world, there is very few people making good money, like off of a livable wage. Even Sydney Sweeney, not a livable wage, but like a good, like anything close to that, they're not making. But Sydney Sweeney actually like just, like I think last year, like she was pretty candid. Like I cannot afford to take even one day off of acting or like any sort of break because it's not enough
Whoa.
to live because I have to pay all
Yeah.
of these people because of the way
Right.
the
She has a
system
full
is.
fucking village. Yeah.
Basically, half of your paycheck also goes to your team, which,
Mm,
yeah. So
wow.
anyway,
Well, and when you were sharing about that, it
mhm,
also made me think about how when I think of actors and actresses from the 90s, I just think of the character name. They were just the character. They were nobody else.
yep,
I don't know what Jennifer Aniston's stance on things is like until more recently.
yeah,
But yeah, I feel like nowadays people have to have a personal brand.
they do.
Yeah,
If you want to like be in charge and make good money,
totally.
like, yeah. So like Jeremy Strong is completely committed to his talent, to his
Who's
acting,
that?
to his art. He was in Succession. He played Kendall.
Oh, yes, 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 of course.
Yes.
Okay,
So
see, I
he
don't know anyone's names.
Yeah, so he's just out here doing Broadway and, like, I'm
Yeah.
sure getting paid very well because he's so talented, so,
Mhm.
like I said, like, but I think he would be doing that even if he wasn't getting paid a lot because he's just such a committed actor,
Right.
but realistically, like, people sometimes go into acting for alternative reasons, not just for
Right.
the art, but also, like, and I don't think there's any shame in that. I wanna be famous, I wanna have money.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like the way that I work with clients is I try, if they are an actor, I want people to know their name and not their character's name. And like
Love
one of
that.
my clients is Chloe Cherry,
Mhm.
and I half the time cannot remember even her name in Euphoria, her
Yeah,
character's name. And I think that's the like such a powerful thing.
totally.
And so yeah, whenever I work with a client, like the goal is to just go on as many podcasts that align with you
Mhm.
and you don't really have to discern like a certain time or place it has to happen,
Yeah.
like because all you're doing is just keeping your name in the tabloids, keeping your name in people's heads and mouths,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
Kim has always done. She's
Totally.
never said no to an interview or a brand deal, and I think there's power in that,
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
being
I mean,
too precious
she's turned down a lot of stuff.
recently, but
Like, we
she's
don't know how many offers she
well,
gets.
no, she definitely discerns now, but,
Yeah.
like, in
Oh,
her
yeah.
20s when she was coming up,
She was like, "Let's do it all."
she says, like, "Let's do it." There's even memes about it. It's like when my agent books me, like, a gig off of, like, Gigster or something, and she's, like,
Damn.
announcing the UFC fight or something.
Oh my
She's like,
gosh.
"Hi, guys." Just like,
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
she definitely turned down my brand deal. I remember it. She did, my cannabis company, we tried.
Oh.
But I did go to her CBD baby shower, which was a memorable
Ooh.
experience.
At her house?
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was fascinating. This woman, I don't know, I might have to edit this out for certain reasons, but like we all paid to be there. Like there were like 5 or 6 brands that paid to go to her CBD baby shower just for the
Cool.
chance of being seen. But it's like this woman makes money off of her own parties. Like it's
Oh.
fucking crazy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you're
Yeah.
just kind of like a baby being puppeteered by, people
Mhm.
don't realize that, yes, it's nice when an agent is like, um, decisive and like kind of handles everything for you,
Yeah.
but you have to remember that they're not the creatives.
Right.
So you're giving so much power away by putting their email in your bio. Like
Mm,
they
I
may
noticed
be
that.
turning down things that you would have thought were cool.
Yes.
So honestly, anytime like I cast for things, like I um think of things for people that I know
Mhm.
but don't work with necessarily, and I'm like, "Hey, I would love to talk to you about this script that I'm consulting for, whatever."
Cool.
And it's a full, like, we have the budget, like it's a thing.
Yeah.
And anytime I hear like, "Oh, yeah, just go to my like talk to my manager."
Mhm.
I won't follow up. Half the time I won't follow up,
Mm,
or I will, but I'm like already it's
right.
you're bringing me to a non-creative, and
Totally.
they don't know any better.
Yeah.
And like all they care about is the money, and they don't care about the project, and
Right.
they're very much like just trying not to get their client canceled.
Totally.
And a lot of my stuff is very like with sex work and like
Right.
experiential films. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like you should never refer someone, like you don't give away the power to somebody that's not creative. Like
Yeah.
you are the artist, and you can leave the negotiations to your agent, but
For
like
sure.
you should be deciding what you want to do.
Or like an agent could come to a client with like a list of recent emails. But like what I
Exactly.
encounter and as trying to get bigger guests, which I struggle with this, is like it's usually if somebody has like over 500,000 or 1 million followers and I reach out, it's to an agent. They go look at one click at my podcast, they say, this is raunchy, it's not the vibe. But it's like I I really think that if those actual people watched a full episode of my podcast, they'd be like,
Yeah.
this makes sense for me. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
reaching out to I'm reaching out to people that are sex worker or sex worker adjacent or passionate about human sexuality.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
every big guest I've tried to reach out to, shut down or ignored by their agent. So
Yeah. It's like,
trying.
that's why I always encourage people like me and you to, I hate to say it, but go to every party, go to every
Ugh,
dinner. I know,
I'm so
I know,
introverted.
I
Yeah.
know, I know.
Yeah.
But it is so important because then there's a
Right.
loophole. When you meet the direct source,
Yeah.
then you're like, I have
So
something
true.
like, can I take you out to dinner? Can I buy you a drink and just tell you
And
about
here's my
this
phone
thing
number
that I
or
have going
email.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why I always like in my course, the
Mhm.
first lesson is to make a business card.
I love that.
Like I gave you a business
Yeah.
card and the other guest
Yes.
one, and it's just like it's so like easy. Nobody has to pull out at their phone or
Right.
like awkwardly like type in their Instagram when they don't really
Right.
want to give it to you. You kind of leave it up to them, like the ball's in their court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So how did you get here?
Here,
Tell me about I mean, I'm curious about where you grew up.
okay.
Yeah, you have an interesting story.
Okay, so I grew up in San Diego, like as a surfer and a gymnast.
Okay.
Um, my family was like house poor, so we grew up like in a nice neighborhood, in North County, San Diego, but we were like broke as like we had like yeah. So anyway, I after that I moved to Santa Cruz for school.
Oh,
I got
I've spent
my
a lot of time there.
yeah,
Love the
I
hippies.
went to UCSC. I know, so many hippies, yeah. Like did not party or rage, like just
Okay.
did mushrooms in the forest.
Okay.
That was my idea
I
of
did that in
raging.
Humboldt County.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. So I got my degree in anthropology and
Oh,
I
cool.
under that I focused in on sex work laws and pornography arts because I thought I was going to be a sex therapist.
Okay.
I was really into Esther Perel and like
Yeah.
very inspired by her.
Do you think how you grew up, like were your parents rather open-minded, or do you have any idea what kind of drew you to that?
I don't really actually think it has anything to do with my upbringing. We were
Yeah.
never my parents were not really political. And everyone in San Diego is pretty Christian and Republican, and they definitely
San
were
Diego.
not
Yeah.
Republican at all.
Yeah.
My dad's more of like a diehard liberal,
Love.
but my mom is kind of like just gets to work. Like yeah. And so yeah, I think I've just for some reason like am so interested in the study of sex, and
Mhm.
I've actually like never been a super sexual person myself. I feel
Mhm.
like I'm very intimate and sensual,
Yeah.
but I'm not like, there's a lot of people out there that all they can think about when they're with you is like a boy. Like you're never going to be better than like a boy or like pussy or like dick, and it's like I just don't operate that way.
Mm.
And a lot of people, women and men and they thems like think with their dick,
Sure.
for lack of a better term.
Yes.
And like even in business and everything. And I really try to take that out of everything I do. Like I've just never operated that way. I've
Mhm.
never thought with my dick before. I've never really been sexual. Like I'm not very sexual actually. So yeah, for some reason I'm just super interested in.
Well, I think it's cool to make that delineation.
Yeah.
Like somebody's interest in human sexuality has nothing to do with their specific sexuality.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
I was at the Kinsey Institute last month, and I was doing a human sexuality intensive there. And it's like none of the PhD researchers about sexuality are like love talking about their sex life. Like
Right.
it's like it is that true fascination.
Yeah.
And I love people that are fascinated by sex because, like, I remember the first audiobook I downloaded when I was like 14 was about a madame, like about a sex worker and like a brothel. And like,
Wow.
I've just been fascinated by
Yeah.
the monetization element of it. And for many years, I didn't partake in sex work at all. And I just like, I just found it very fascinating.
Yeah.
So could you tell me more about the paper or your dissertation in anthropology? Didn't you do?
Oh yeah, I
Um,
did. I actually did my thesis on celebrity culture.
okay.
I never like got it approved because of like like I
Oh.
graduated right during COVID, so I ended up
Mm,
just like focusing in on like I took like the alternative like like graduate school class basically,
gotcha.
and I think it was like about Black culture. Like one of my professors, Dr. Savannah Shange, was like sort of my mentor, and I took all of her classes that were about. All of it was had to do with media too. A lot of it
Mm,
was like about like Black studies, but some of it was like about feminism and sex too.
yeah.
So, but I ended up just taking one of her courses. But I wrote a whole thesis
Yeah.
about celebrity culture, and that's kind of how I started publishing my own writing just through interviews with celebrities. And
Cool.
yeah, literally like just people my model sister found at a club. Like they all thought that they were gonna sleep with her, and she's like, can my little sister
Oh
interview
my
you?
God.
And it worked.
There you go, back to the business card, just getting
Yep.
somebody's information.
Yep. And just like unfortunately, like withholding from a man, I think makes them talk to you more.
Oh yes.
So yeah, if
As
you
a very
actually,
single
it's
dating
very
person.
annoying, but if
Yes.
you sleep with them in LA specifically,
Oh my
it's
God.
like they cut you off.
Oh, no, that's universal. Yeah.
People in New York seem to disagree with that.
Oh.
They're like, oh no, we're all fucking and working together. I'm like,
I find a phenomenon of being love bombed by men to get
okay,
laid and then getting ghosted. And I don't necessarily think it's always conscious. I think that it's partially biological. Like they think
yeah,
that they might want to date you, but once they fuck you, they're like,
because they
eh,
mated with you.
they made it. Yes, time to
They don't. Their
go
work is
spread the
done.
sperm. Like Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
But it happens so much.
And it's it sucks because like we want to get
Then
laid
women
too.
feel used.
Yeah, like
And I just feel I feel like it was not clearly represented. That's why I
mhm.
like using the app Field. It's like a kink friendly app. People are just
Oh,
super direct and forward of like, I'm looking
wow.
for this, I'm looking for this.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been told about this since
Yeah.
I've been in
It's
New York.
fun.
I'm like discovering I'm in a Renaissance era.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool. So the people on there like don't ghost as much?
Nope.
Cool.
Because there's transparency up front and men have the permission to say, hey, I'm actually just looking for a casual and I'm just
Got
looking
it.
for this dynamic. Like it's
Yeah.
rather than like on Bumble or Hinge, I'm getting this whole fucking workaround and small talk for a week and I'm like,
Mhm.
I want to kill myself. So
And
yeah.
like it's so sad like where we've gotten as a society, not sad, but interesting like that it's like evolutionized, is that a word, to this point?
Evolved.
Evolved. I'm so stupid.
Okay.
I keep telling people in New York, I'm like, I'm dumb. I'm a dumb valley girl. Like, don't use big words around me.
Oh my
Evolved. Oh
God.
my God.
Okay.
I
It's
also
been a
like
long day.
yeah, I had very little sleep and
You're a good
went to a
girl.
party last night. But like these signals, these tiny little signals sent through Instagram or text mean
Mhm.
so much to our heart and they impact our
Oh,
ego so much. Like
yeah.
I call it story liking sex.
Oh my God.
Like it's like it can
No,
give
there's
you like heart flutters, like
yeah.
yeah. So
Or
it
there's like the meme of like you're gonna go on a date with him one time and then he's gonna like the stories for your stories for the rest of his life. Like this
exactly,
is modern dating.
exactly,
Fantastic.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough out here. But okay, so who were the people that you interviewed? Your sister was connecting you?
So I interviewed a lot of comics, and 'cause
Okay.
I would also just stand outside the Comedy Store because I lived on her
Love.
couch every summer in between college.
In
And
LA.
in LA, she was in LA,
Yeah.
on her broken futon on
Oh my
Hollywood
God.
Boulevard. But we would walk
Sounds
down to
like a
the
movie
Comedy
someday
Store.
though. So
I
you've
know.
got that.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, and I would go with them to their atmosphere modeling like
Tell us
parties.
about what that means.
Okay, atmosphere modeling is when a rich man that cannot um
Acquire.
acquire women on his own, but also he might not have time
Sure.
to,
Yes.
or
Yes.
like he just wants people to be vetted ish,
Mm-hmm.
or he wants them to be kind of cool or clouded or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll pay a promoter. And this is where it's really fucked up in borderline sex trafficking.
Because is there the expectation of sex?
No,
Okay.
but so the promoter is usually almost 99% of the time a man.
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
That kind of makes himself seem safe by being
Mm.
maybe feminine or like gay seeming, but really they're usually straight and horny, but they just, they make themselves safe because they don't pursue you necessarily. But so then but that's a scam in and of itself, like, because all they care about is making money from the client, which is the rich dude.
And this is not your average modeling agency. This is its own like sub niche type of agency.
Modeling agencies hook you up with these things.
Okay.
Which is
so
really
we're talking
fucked
about
up. Really
modeling
fucked up.
agencies.
Like the big ones.
Okay.
That's how like Miranda Kerr and Adriana Lima probably found those jobs, through their modeling agencies.
Okay.
So basically how it works for the promoter thing is that a rich rich guy will give a promoter like, I don't know, 20 or 30K for a party.
Wow.
And he's like, bring all the hottest girls you can.
Sure.
That's on the upper end. I actually don't know, but I assume it's a lot.
I mean, this does not surprise me.
The promoter will pay usually like $100 to each girl. So he's taking it all off on the top. And the rich guy's like, whatever, like, you're basically curating this party.
God.
Like, they don't care. And they don't want to pay girls because that's iffy. But
$100 for the whole evening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's not like the promoter necessarily like hooks you up with the guy at all. Like, normally you don't even like see the person that paid, or you don't even know who the person that's paying is.
They want a bunch of hot people at the
but I just tagged along. Like, I never got paid or anything, but my
sister was hired
did,
for
because this is when she was like 20 and so broke, and like she never slept with anyone or anything like that. She just would go to a party for $100. Yeah, and like try to leave as soon as possible. But also like free drinks, free food. Like, you're so broke, you need that.
Yeah.
So like a nice, like, you can steal a bottle of perfume or something. And
oh God. For legal reasons.
Yeah. So there's some benefit, or there was some benefit as like a 20-year-old girl. But what was I saying? So there's not really an expectation at all, and the promoter doesn't necessarily hook you up with the guy or even introduce you. But you know, things can happen, and it's like, who's responsible? Like, there's been like the client will hook up with the girl, and sometimes like there's stories like there's stories in the press like that someone was raped, and it's like, who did that? You know, like, it obviously wasn't like two consenting adults, because this girl is underage drinking wise and wasted, and the promoter set it up. So they usually always like get out, you know, with no, you know, like nothing, no problem for them.
Right.
But it's a really fucked up industry, not only because they're taking so much off the top,
the 95%.
Yeah, but also because there is a sexual undertone.
Yes.
And I was telling Thea before that at a few parties I went with my sister, like, some girls have come up to me and been like, he comes really fast if you ever need like an extra $5,000. Like, it's super easy. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm like 18. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just doing my college paper. Like, and they're all, so.
Well, and that makes you think that maybe there is also more going on, where it's a bit more of like an under the table, maybe escorting agency between some of these guys and the women. But it's like, are they also taking 95% there?
And all of these guys that are like borderline, they seem gay, but they're not.
Interesting.
But they are friends with so many women.
Yeah.
It's very like tribal and primal. It's like, and primitive. It's like, oh, this man has all of these this male ape has all these female apes that trust him and are
so more women can join.
Exactly. They're kind of in his harem. So he's like, he's powerful, he's trustworthy, and he's not pursuing me, and that makes him safe, you know, like just like a dog. I've found out through dog behavior. It's like, dogs show respect by giving distance to one another. So if a dog comes right up to him, that's actually being like super aggressive in a way, or like breaking a boundary.
Yeah.
And it's just like being at a bar. If a man comes up and is in your face, it's like, oh my God, you're not safe.
Yeah.
But if a man just leaves you alone, it's like, and then you're like, oh my God, you're hot.
Or acknowledges you.
Yeah, you're like, wait, like, you're hot, and because you're safe. So anyway, that's the phenomenon I think that's happening with the promoter people and like the photographers in LA.
Oof.
But basically, like, yeah, they all like kind of co-own like a giant sex trafficking ring in
Wow.
my eyes.
Fascinating.
Borderline.
Yeah. Yeah. Some
Borderline.
gray area shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were really young going to these parties. It sounds like you saw a bunch of shit that made you want to do it better and be that safe person for women.
Yeah, I guess maybe in the back of my mind. What really traumatized me though was like trying to get interviews with these celebrities and their publicists being like, they're not on tour right now. It's gonna be another 2 years. Check back with us. Or
Right.
Medium is not established enough, which it's just like the YouTube of writing. Anyone can publish anything there. But like, why would I beg to be in Vogue or New York Times? They pay like $100 for a story and no one's going to read it. I'm sorry. I don't read like interviews with people, like one-off profiles on people
Right.
anymore from New York Times. If I got the physical magazine, maybe, but I'm
Mhm.
mostly reading about like politics and things like that. Like I would rarely read somebody's
I'm reading
work.
really viral posts that get like
Exactly.
cross-posted across.
And I'm reading like who
stuff.
I'm a fan of, their Substack and stuff. And I had already had a little bit of like a fan base. Maybe it's not as big as Vogue, but yeah, my first article got like 100,000 reads, and you can
That's
see all the
awesome.
stats. So that was really bothersome to me too. Like
Yeah.
that publicists were like, "Pff, well, if
Right.
talk to me when you get it with a Vogue," and I'm like, no one's gonna read that. No one is gonna read that. But I
Yeah.
have a following that likes my writing already, and your client has a. So anyway, the loophole I found was like comics and like YouTubers that didn't necessarily, like, their agents are pretty chill normally because they're not making fuck you money yet.
Right.
Like once you get to like Bobby Lee level or like that kind of like tier, then it's a little, you do kind of have to jump through hoops. But comics are
A lot of comics
very
are touring. Like they're paying their bills by going
Yeah.
on like pretty
Yeah.
expensive tours.
And comics are very accessible. They're
Yeah.
at the Comedy Store every night. So
Yeah.
you can just introduce yourself like
Right.
very easily, and that's what I did.
I love your approach. Bring back in-person interaction.
Exactly.
I'm a big
yeah.
promoter on the podcast of bringing back women hitting on men out in the world.
Ooh.
Because I feel, just side tangent, I feel like men often, and I've talked to many of them, don't feel comfortable making a move because they don't want to make a woman uncomfortable. The majority of men. And so I think it's kind of back on the women right now to like at least
Yeah.
smile, start a conversation. And I've been trying to do that more in New York. I see like hot guys on the subway all the time where I'm like, oh, I should
most
start a fucking conversation.
Beautiful
Which is
men I've ever
intimidating.
seen.
Yes. It's like,
But everyone's
intimidating. But I think that everyone's distraught over the apps. It's not working. It's not converting to long-term relationships.
No.
It's converting to a lot of situationships. And anyways, just to parallel, like, I think that in a lot of areas of life, we've spent the last 2 decades becoming disconnected and isolated. And so if you can start conversations with person, like you're literally like my first business babysitter at 13, I had business cards. Like it's like business 101, but like I have not thought about a business card in a decade. And so it's like
for a dating profile.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I've been literally thinking about printing out, like, that's what a romantic I am. I've been thinking about like printing out my phone number on a card or something. Or hey,
bring a
maybe I could-
Sharpie and put it on his arm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like both of what we're saying is like it's the most simple solution of just like start the conversation with the person that has 1 million followers at the Comedy Store, or say hello to the guy you think that is cute.
Yeah.
Like,
and what I would do, like, too, because eventually I graduated college and I like had worked for a scammer at the summer after college. Yeah. I got paid by the scammer though, so that's fine.
okay.
PPP loan scam.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But I was like, oh my God, I signed to a lease and I have bills now and I'm like 21. Like, what the hell?
Damn.
So then I was like, I need to get paid for writing. And before that, through all my summers living with my sister at the Comedy Store, I would just go up to people and be like, can I work for you for free? Can I pay you to scrub your floors? Nobody does that anymore. I'm like Kim Kardashian, where it's like nobody wants to work these days, but it's true. Nobody wants to offer themselves for free. And I understand, and I don't ever want to gyp somebody, but at the same time, like the best artists and the most successful people I know are down to do the short student film. Like that is Chloe. She is always down to have a conversation.
That's cool.
And it's really important to stay grounded, I
Yeah.
think, and not be too precious.
Mm.
So I'm still like that. I'm like, let me work for you for free. Like, please, if I really want to align with somebody and they can't
Yeah.
afford me or whatever, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is,
Let's see what we can do.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, where was I going with that?
I love that.
I would like beg people to work for them for free. I actually interned with Alexi Wasser. I don't know if you
Okay.
know her. She has a podcast, Love Alexi, and she makes films now. But
Cool.
yeah, I was just like trying to help her any way I could. I had no experience,
Yeah.
but
As like an personal assistant, or what did you?
I would help
Okay.
her with her podcast, and like
Mm.
she was trying to monetize it, and so
Sure.
I would help her, and and then when I turned to try to monetize my writing, I wanted to build a platform that was like a pay-per-view per article
Oh,
site,
yes. Yes. Yes.
but that was taking forever to build like the website, and I
Yeah.
had a web builder, but like I was broke, and I was just like shelving out.
Yeah.
What is the word?
Yeah.
Like schlepping out money. Schlepping out? No,
I
that's
don't
not the
know.
word. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say.
Dishing out.
Dishing out
Maybe.
money. Ugh, okay, something with an S though. But anyway, I keep giving out money and then like nothing's happening. So
Yeah.
then I was um, like OnlyFans already has a pay-per-view system.
Hmm.
Let me just use that. And but at the time back in 2020, like there was
Yeah.
no
Pre-surge.
and there was no
OnlyFans.
B-list celebrities as there are now, no housewives. It was very much like only sex worker stuff
Yeah.
on there. So I was not going to be able to put Duncan Trussell's interview on there and sell it,
Mm.
but I was going to be able to find a girl I found on TikTok talking about anal jokes
Mhm.
interview on there, and
Mhm.
that was Stella Berry.
Mhm.
And so we sold the interview. And I made like $2,000 off of it,
Heck
which was
yeah.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
it was just writing, and like her
Right.
fans wanted to buy it. It was like it was $3, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was the lowest you could do. I wanted to do $1, but
Yeah.
then
That's such a creative solution for
yeah.
OnlyFans. Like that's just such a creative thought.
Yeah, and
to
I
have.
pitched it to like so many OnlyFans agencies too, because I'm like,
Right.
this is like you need your clients, like they need to know more about this person so that when they do drop a podcast, it's not jarring. It's not a super like
There's not a disconnect.
there's
who
not
they
a
think
disconnect.
they
Like, and I
are.
think that was
Mhm.
what happened with Lana Rhoades, honestly.
Mm.
I don't think she had primed her audience well enough for her voice or her
I
personality.
know the name, but I can't think of who it is.
Lana Rhoades, she is a porn star.
Okay.
Very
sure
big
I'd
porn
recognize
star,
the
and she
face.
dated
Yeah.
Mike Malak.
Don't know who
Okay, that's another
Girl,
person
I'm
I
out of the
interviewed.
loop.
Yeah, you're not in the world.
I'm
Like,
not- I'm
get out on
not.
the streets,
I know.
girl. No, well, yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh my God.
Lana
Track it
Rhoades.
down.
Oh, just like how she came out with a podcast and maybe it was a little jarring for people. But
Mhm.
what I want
Oh.
to say really quick is just like at least, and this is post-pandemic OnlyFans, is people want to actually know the person. Like I think clients and people that are paying for subscriptions on OnlyFans are tired of like, chatting with they know it's not the girl.
Yeah.
Most men, most intelligent men know that they're not chatting with the woman, but there's a deep desire to get to know the person because
Exactly.
so many people have an OnlyFans now. It's like they want to feel more authentically connected to that person. So I think it's genius to bring in a component of like vulnerability and writing. And
I always tell my clients like, you don't want to just be another girl that they scroll through on the OnlyFans feed or something. Like you want to be the first sex worker or porn star they follow
yeah,
out of anyone on their Instagram or any subscription they pay for. Because that means like you have a lasting audience member that obviously is drawn to you, not only because you're hot and you're a porn star, but because your Instagram is cool or you're doing art projects or you're on podcasts all the time and your life is interesting. So yeah, anyway, I started to interview a few more. I got shut down by the OnlyFans agencies because they're just like focused
for sure.
on
They're not that forward thinking.
So I was doing more interviews
and putting them on your own OnlyFans.
My own OnlyFans that was only for writing, and then also theirs, and then we would split the profits, me and the person I was interviewing. And then, but during my interview with Stella,
Yeah.
she only had like 10,000 followers at the time.
Oh, wow.
She let me know that she needed an assistant, and I was like, I'll
Mm.
do it. Like, I
Yeah.
wanted to be like professional and like, this cool writer girl, but I just could not
Gotta pay the
afford. Yeah, I
bills.
got to pay the bills.
Yeah, LA's hard.
Yeah. So, I worked with, I assisted her for 2 years, and then, she was kind of becoming a celebrity overnight because we
Yeah.
opened the door to a female audience. And so then she started getting
Mm.
approached with companies like Quinn, from companies like Quinn
Yeah.
and Lemmy and things like that, that
Yeah.
were like for the girls, but still kind of
Right.
sexy. And then it started going into purely Hollywood stuff. Like she did
Mm.
a music video with the Chainsmokers. That was the
Okay.
most Hollywood thing I think she did, but she was getting offers like that all the time.
Yeah.
And then it just started to go into like makeup and fashion brands. And that
Mhm.
was like mind blowing to me that that me and her together like found, we kicked doors off their hinges, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and that really like awakened me to this idea that if we can have more sex workers in represented on media, yes, they're gonna be like the rich ones and probably like the privileged ones and what have you, and
Mhm.
this socially acceptable looking ones or
Right.
whatever, um but it's going to open the doors for conversations about safety and, giving more resources to underground sex workers
Yeah.
that are far away from Hollywood, or they're
Right. Right.
working on the street.
Mhm.
And so that really, like, I was like, oh my God, this is where this is where the natural path is taking me.
Yeah.
And so the next client I took on was not a sex worker. She had a Patreon. She
Mhm.
was just an artist in New York.
Cool.
And that further helped me open the doors for my other sex worker clients at that.
Mm.
So at some point, Stella was becoming so much of a celebrity that I had to kind of step up and be a manager. Um,
Gotcha.
and then it was all of a
She
sudden
was
like,
she also doing porn? 'Cause she
yes,
okay, at the same time,
like
and she was doing all the brand
yeah,
deals,
yeah,
like,
she had, yep,
I mean, that's a
OnlyFans.
huge I don't know, I'm not gonna say she was the first, you would know better, but, like, that's a big thing to also just, like, show society and show other
Mhm.
women that are doing sex work that, like, "Look, I can be taken seriously
Yeah,
with brand partnerships, with
yes.
deals."
And
Like, that's
yeah,
huge.
she was, I want to say, like kind of the first of her kind to um have both feet in either world,
Yeah. Well,
one
it
foot in each world,
also
like not quitting sex work, because that is the
right, that's the
narrative of
trope.
Hollywood. It's
Yeah.
like you have to, and I've heard it. They're like,
Mhm.
she can never have an OnlyFans. I'm like, her asshole's already on the internet. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So
It's
what were
not
you
this
saying?
or I mean, it's not this or that. Like, it's
Yeah.
also creates financial safety for these women
Hmm.
in a industry that is
Yes.
changing so much.
Yes.
And yeah.
It create like having a female audience, like it may dip your monthly income a little bit. That's why
Yeah.
sometimes when I work with people, I warn them. I'm like, do you have a little bit of a cushion, because you might see a
Mhm.
bit of a dip,
Right.
but I'm going to add 10 years to that, to your career, and
Mhm.
I'm going to open more doors in the case that you ever want to quit porn.
Yeah.
But with Stella, like eventually she got to a point where she told me, she was like, I don't think I want to do Hollywood. I think I want to double down
Mm,
on sex work. And
cool.
and that was shocking to me growing up in
Right.
Southern California. Like I'm like, doesn't everyone want to be famous and sparkly? But it was, so it rattled me, but I'm obviously glad she told me, and she got in touch with herself
Mhm.
to know that and make that decision for herself.
Well, and it also breaks and yeah, breaks away from the narrative that, like, sex work is the harmful thing that you need to be wanting to get away from. Like, that there's
Exactly.
something better on
And
the
that
other
was
side.
never my narrative about it at all. I
Right.
was never trying to, get her to break away at
Yeah.
all. I was obviously completely supportive. And I would, if somebody told her she had to quit OnlyFans, I would fight back like,
Mhm.
no. But she just personally like didn't want to do it. Also, the money is not as good as OnlyFans or
Yeah.
sex work. So
Yeah, for
anyway,
sure.
she went on to build Hidden, which is like a sex work build, like
Oh,
an OnlyFans
yeah.
competitor, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's launched?
Yeah, it just
Okay.
launched. Yeah. So,
Exciting.
yeah, we parted ways, but I work with people that are still that want to do that, like
Yes.
Hollywood and sex work at the same time, or I work with specifically Hollywood people. So then it kind of opens the doors for
Yeah.
sex workers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the
Very
story.
cool. Do you know who Levi Corlin is?
Yeah, I love Levi
I am
Garland.
obsessed.
I love her.
I want you on, Levi. I'm talking to you.
Yes.
So she recently put out, I didn't read the full thing, but she put out an article, I think she has a Substack,
Mhm.
about how she basically became for the girls.
Yeah.
So like, and I believe her background, because she has multiple TikTok accounts. I
Mhm.
think just one main Instagram, but I'm obsessed with her.
Mhm.
Millions of followers across multiple TikTok accounts. And even her content when she was mostly focused on OnlyFans was like so creative and beautiful. And like, yes, it was for men to subscribe to her OnlyFans, but it also felt a little bit for the girls too. It was just
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
She gets together with this guy, William, also
Yep.
obsessed with William.
Yep.
Everyone needs one. I would love
Yep.
one.
She really shattered that idea that you have to like appear single too.
Totally. Well,
Yeah.
so like, I mean, and she talks about it a little bit, but it's like, you know, and as a social media, like viral social media strategist, what's
Mhm.
fascinating to me is how, like, I'm sure her audience was probably like 70-30 or 80-20.
Mhm.
And to maintain the views that she's doing still now,
Yeah.
but she flipped it to
Yep.
some degree.
That's
And
true
there is a
success.
shitty transition. There's always going to be, like you said, that dip
Yep.
in engagement, that dip in like the men being like, wait, what the fuck? You're making like
Mhm.
cute shit with your
Mhm.
boyfriend now, and they're going to leave, but there's going to be room for more women to come in. And she's not, I mean, I couldn't find a link to her OnlyFans recently. Like, she is
Yeah.
making couple content. She's putting out clothing. She's
Yep.
doing a ton of brand deals.
Yep. And it's
It's a genius.
kind of a shitty like fact, but it's true. I think in America, the marketplace is made up of 90% women. Like we buy 90% of the
Yes,
products
I've
in
heard
America
something like
because
that too.
we
Yeah.
buy our
We are consumption. We
Yeah.
are capitalism.
I mean, because men don't know how to shop and they don't know what they need. It's like you fucking need like toilet paper and like
Yes.
so we buy our boyfriends and our husbands and our sons and our uncles and our dads like
Yeah.
the products for them. Like we're the ones swiping the credit card even if it's marketed to
Mhm,
them.
mhm.
So that's why having a female audience is sustainable. More sustainable than
That's so
somebody
smart.
than relying on your income from sex work. There's definitely ways to make that sustainable as well by
Mhm.
making I call them making classics
Mm.
and then reselling and recycling and remarketing all of your like hit movies basically. Where the
Ew.
like OnlyFans agencies usually typically advise girls to make like sexting sets and 5-second videos. And it's like, no, let's
Whoa.
create like basically a master of all of your iconic releases and make them the best you possibly can.
Wow.
And we'll name them all. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah, yeah.
sustainable ways to make money from men too, but like I mean,
Yeah.
obsession with like a porn girl is usually fleeting. Like they get in a relationship or
Totally.
wife gets jealous or they're just like or maybe they think
Right.
because of society they have a porn addiction and it's negative.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Right.
you gotta but Levi, yes, like I actually think that she doesn't want to do sex work
Mm-mm.
at all.
No, I
She
don't think
never
she's linked out to
no,
OnlyFans
I think
anymore.
she deleted her OnlyFans. Yeah.
Wow. And I mean,
Yeah.
I cannot imagine how much she was making, but seeing
So
the
much,
pivot
yeah.
is
But just like
really
Stella,
cool.
the opposite. They
Right.
both one day were like, I don't want to do that side of things anymore. I want to
Right.
focus on this area. And neither is better or
Right.
more moral or anything like that. It's just their
Totally.
choice. But that is the power that you can have with a female audience. You can
Mhm.
make that choice.
Just to not side swipe, neither of us can talk today. Great. Sidestep to porn.
Yeah.
You had a good point of like, traditional porn or porn from, let's say, like 15-20 years ago was like mostly directed by like men. It was like with this different energy, and
Mhm.
now things have shifted with
Yeah.
OnlyFans. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, we've seen such a flip, like the power and the more control. It's still riddled with agencies, and obviously
Right.
OnlyFans takes the cut. But
Mhm.
for the majority, like women are more in or creators, I should say, like
Yeah.
are more in control of their own content and their own stylizing and script writing, or even just doing homemade porn.
Yeah.
And we've seen like there now it's $1 billion industry, and porn was too, but like this has happened in 2 years since
Right.
OnlyFans. So
Wow.
you're seeing what a woman can make when because if you think about it, why would a man know what another man would like to jerk off to if they're straight? Why the hell would they know that?
A woman's going to
So-
know because she sees the response she creates from a man in that real time, right?
So like mainstream porn, terrible lighting, cheesy acting,
Yes.
terrible glam, like a
Yes.
full-blown glam at 8 a.m. with a cock in your face. Like that's
We're doing like a coffee scene.
yeah.
Come on.
It's just not natural, and men don't know what they want either. Like I remember Stella would do like polls on her OnlyFans, and when she would be like, should I grow it out, like my bush, or shave it or whatever? And everyone would say shave it, like bald.
Right.
But every video with her bush sold more.
Right. Like the data, the numbers tell different stories.
The numbers tell different stories. And almost like the voting could be like just societal performing or something.
Right.
Or
This
like,
is what we're supposed to want, or this is what's in right now.
yeah, exactly.
Side note, I'm so glad I didn't get laser.
Me too.
Bush is in these days.
I love
Everyone got fucking lasered. I swear.
And laser doesn't even fucking work. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be. I feel like I'm gonna get cancer from that
It's
too.
intense.
Yeah, I'm not doing.
Glad
that.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's so funny.
I do the manscape. The manscape. Yeah, it's like I'm so bad at. I'm like every girl I meet. I'm like, how do you get it like that? Like, how do you even get it bald? I don't even understand. I'm so dumb.
But that makes sense that like the numbers told a different story of what
yeah.
I want.
So
yeah.
Yeah. So it's really. I mean, mainstream porn is like kind of crippling now because of OnlyFans, and also like. You may think you want like a polished porn scene and lubed up, oiled up, like tan or whatever, but what has been selling better, like men really do want like that feral animal.
Everyone's searching at home, homemade.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's what's the hottest, I think, too, because there's also no time wasted on a stupid plot that's unrealistic.
Right.
It's just like boyfriend.
When I watch porn, I zoom to
exactly.
I'm like, come on.
I know.
I don't care about the MILF.
Exactly. Yeah, I could care less about the plot.
Yeah. So you've been very open about your mental health journey, and I really appreciated that. You shared with me on your prep call that you're in Codependent Anonymous, and I shared with you that I'm in AA. So I loved that. I love women who are willing to talk about their mental health. I think it's so important, and I think that people that have gone through things like that are some of the most interesting fucking people. Like I'm an extremist. I'm an extremist junkie in everything. Like, and it's a challenging life, but it's also made a very cool life.
Yeah. Whitney Cummings says addicts are like superheroes. Like they're so cool, and they're just not made for this society, maybe. And so that's how I actually got into Coda, is because of just Whitney's like talking about it. I don't know her personally, but but yeah, like she speaks highly of addicts, and has grown to like love and accept them through Codependence Anonymous, which is kind of a sister of Al-Anon.
Sure.
But yeah, and to your point, like they're the most interesting people. Like I tell people, I was kind of nervous to tell people in LA, like, yeah, I went to the mental hospital last year.
Yeah.
But every single person there is like, oh, girl, like I went there last year. They're like, I trust you so much more now.
Interesting.
So I love that. I don't think the response would be the same outside of a city, but
sure.
Yeah.
I found the most fascinating humans and friends inside of AA. Like I fucking love it. Like I go to this one meeting here on Sundays that's like a literal part. Like I feel like I'm at a stand-up show.
They're parties in New York and LA. They're really parties. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Like for me, anywhere that or what I've heard people say this, like anywhere where there's good drinking, there's good sobriety, because you're living in the most hardcore cities where this stuff happens. I mean, I'm a year and a half sober, and it's like I go,
congratulations.
Thanks. I had 4 years, but got creative, and I wasn't doing a program. Like I wasn't working a program, and you know, it's hard. It's hard to move to New York City and see people drinking fucking martinis, and like this glamorizing of drinking has been really challenging. But I'm super glad to be sober. Like it's good. And I think what's funny though is that like, and I was curious about Coda, because I'm like, God damn, like once one thing pops up, you're like, oh, I think I got all this other things. I think I need a few more 12-step programs.
A lot of like people in Coda have like 20 years of sobriety, or
Mhm.
they are addicts still, but they're like, this is where I should have started, honestly, and maybe
Oh,
I didn't even
interesting.
need to get sober
Mhm.
because I was just doing it for people pleasing, or because I was insecure with myself, or I thought I was bad or
Yeah.
wrong, or um the Whitney Cummings definition of codependency is the inability to withstand another person's discomfort.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the funny thing about the codependence meetings is, Al-Anon, you get a mix of celebrities and homeless people.
Totally.
And
Yes. Same here.
Codependence Anonymous, like, there is Porsches lined up outside. Like,
Damn.
people have their fucking lives together there but they're one
Mm.
hair away from destroying it all, because they're
Mhm.
just like, it's time for me to have fun. Like, why don't I get to be the alcoholic? Because we've been
Mm.
pleasing our families or our friends or whatever, and
Yeah.
we've been the mother. And that was
Interesting.
heightened as a manager. Like, a manager is
Oh, right, right,
basically
right.
like being a mother to a teenager that doesn't want you to be their mother. You're like,
Even though they're paying you and actually do want you to be there. So
yeah. And I have a lot of like manager friends that with big celebrities, that it's like the
Mhm.
same really weird codependent, like, because it's also like the power dynamic, like, who is in charge? Like, who is
Right, it's
who
so
is the
tricky when
boss?
there's
Yeah.
money, but then you're asking somebody else to kind of look out for
Mhm.
you. It's complex.
Yeah. And you kind of like, as a manager, you kind of have to be their friend. Like, there is so
Yes.
many like boundaries crossed all the time because you're
Mhm.
with them 24/7.
You have to be their friend, but I'm assuming you also have to set those boundaries looking out for them, which would be hard if there's people pleasing
Yeah, it
happening.
is up to you to be responsible, and I think as a young woman,
Yeah,
I didn't really and just wanting to be loved and
for
accepted,
sure.
and especially by like a little bit older of girls, like, like
Mm.
sisterhood. Like,
Right,
I
right.
think I was willing to sacrifice those boundaries for myself, even
Yeah,
just to get closer to them.
yeah,
And that's ultimately what drove me crazy, because then it's like, oh my God, wait, we're friends or we're business partners, or what's happening here? Um,
totally.
so that's why I've kind of transitioned just to consulting
Mm.
and acting as an agent to big clients that don't need my consulting.
Gotcha.
And it has been so good for my mental health. Like,
Cool.
oh my God. Yeah.
And that was what was the part that was harming the mental health? Doing
Managing.
management?
Yeah,
Okay, I just don't
management.
totally know how everything's different.
Management
Okay.
is like more like booking hotels and flights, and
Oh,
like,
wow.
you're kind of like a mix of their assistant or
Right,
agent.
right,
Like,
right.
you're
Okay.
getting deals, but you're also like doing their everyday thing. An agent will call you
Wow.
up like once in a blue moon when they get a deal.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's very
That makes
distant.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
boundaries.
Yep.
Boundaries are hard.
Very
And
hard.
did you just put out an article about that?
Yes.
That's gonna be
Ish.
related to future
Yeah. It's
things?
it's like a prelude to my book called
Okay,
Pleaser,
amazing.
which is a double entendre,
Yeah.
'cause stripper heel and being a people pleaser. Strippers are how I forgot to mention that.
Oh,
That was like who I interviewed first for a research
okay.
paper. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yes. In college. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm writing a book, but I'm not writing it, like, I've written some, but it's
Yes.
like, I don't know
It's a
where the hell. It's
process.
like I'm lost in the sauce right now, and
Yeah,
I'm just trying to finish my course that's coming out in August before I can focus back on the book. But
totally.
yeah, the book will chronicle my time as a young woman driving myself insane, with running my own business.
Yeah.
And I was even so deep into codependency that I was
Mm.
trying to run my business from within the mental hospital. And yeah, like writing stuff down on with crayons and waiting in line behind like people that were smashing their heads to talk on a payphone with my clients, memorized all their
Whoa.
numbers.
But you were, like, there for that.
Exactly.
Right.
And
You're making
yeah,
me realize how I never
I
take days off either.
I know.
Fuck.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Like, you are the biggest threat to your career. Burnout is the biggest
Oh,
threat to your career.
damn.
It really is.
Yeah.
Take it from me. But yeah, I want to develop it into like a dramatized play or script,
It sounds like a great movie.
because I was paranoid, and I was like, wait, do I even have a business? That was like a scary thought for a second.
Sure.
but I want to exaggerate that paranoia and to make it almost like a Shutter Island, but for the girlies.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, and, like, I've had a client friend, who's had a mental hospital experience,
Yeah.
and we want to and she's a sex worker, and, we wanna intertwine
Ooh.
our stories, and kind
Wow.
of, like, the character becomes
Yeah.
they go into each other's bodies almost, and,
Ooh,
like, they're, like, not sure who is who, like, and then as the audience, we're not sure who's the business agent and who is the porn star.
fascinating.
Yeah,
Wow.
so yeah, but first
Yeah.
I gotta write the real story, I think, because 'cause I'm just, like, it's hard for me to write fiction. I'm pretty, like,
Totally.
candid and, like, diary
Mhm,
vibes of a
mhm.
writer, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your transparency today.
Thank
It's
you. Of
lovely, and
course.
this has been really informative and hopefully like inspiring to the
I
girlies
hope
too.
so.
Because I feel like when people think about like sex work and OnlyFans, there's this very like linear way of like I feel like a young woman's first thought is like, okay, I need to like look like this feed of these OnlyFans women. I need to go get a BBL. I need to do this. I need to go blonde. But it's like what you're saying is kind of like and I've shared this kind of line of thinking too of like be the actually most unique, authentic like version of yourself that you can be. And
Yes.
that's going to find a more loyal crowd that will not just subscribe to you for 1 month for 9.99, but
Mhm.
they will actually engage with you. And like
Yeah.
even you shared your client who's going to be on my podcast in a few months, like she does niche kink
Yeah.
shit. Like
Yeah.
the more niche and more authentic you can be,
Mhm.
the better of an audience you'll have. And so
Totally.
like for I think young women listening to this, like go niche, go rogue.
Yeah. Forget the filler and the BBL.
Yeah.
Keep the pimples on your ass. Don't edit that out. Like
Oh
men
my
want the feral animal in you.
Yeah.
And I know it's like, as a woman, it's you're like, no, it's for
Perfectionism is
me.
really
Yeah, it's like
real
this is
too.
for me. This is for me. But like
Mm.
when you're selling to men,
Mhm.
they don't want the same things that women want to look for
Oh,
ourselves.
yes.
So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
like no makeup, like fresh out of bed, make it a relationship, almost like you're talking to your boyfriend. I kind of say
There
like
you
also
go.
sometimes like talk to your grandpa
Oh
almost.
god. I
Like
don't know.
no, no, in the sense that like going to Trader Joe's,
Oh,
like
totally.
updating them
Updates.
about
Vanilla
vanilla.
updates.
Yes, vanilla. It doesn't
Yeah.
every post shouldn't be like I'm so wet right now
Right.
because this is not
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? What's your handle?
My handle's not your publicist on Instagram, on
Perf.
everything. My writing is medium.com/@ not your publicist. And my course that is coming this
Yes.
summer is commodification of self on Instagram.
Wonderful. Okay, well,
Thank you
thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Yes.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple, and or YouTube, as well as on Instagram at Seggs Talk Radio. That's Seggs, Seggs. And before you go, head over to testy.co to join the waitlist for our 2026 launch. We are reinventing same-day walk-in STI testing nationwide.